All right, Shalom, Yashamala. I'll start out by giving infinite honors to my Heavenly Father, my great King, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and our bishops of Great Millstone, and salutation to my fellow ladies, Namashak Yahweh Shai. Push his blood doctrine across both wins. All right, this topic, you see the title. The Lord is going to make the peoples of the earth put respect on his name. He's going to do that through fierce judgment. All right, we're about to see some horrific things in this fine hour. All right, the last days are going to be gruesome. All right, the last days, the kingdom of heaven is going to be ushered in through what? The third war, World War III. All right, and rebellions. All right, revolutions. Okay, and wars are bloody. They're gruesome. All right, during those times, people starve to death. They turn to cannibals. Men become lawless. They do things that they wouldn't do if the society was up and running. And all of this is the judgment of the Lord. All right. This is going to be for everybody that lost respect for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. When the Lord get through bringing these sore strokes on men, all right, people are going to know that there's a power in heaven that ruleth in the kingdom of men. All right. A demon-like power. All right. When you get on this bad side, El Shaddai. All right. So I'm going to start off in Psalm 50. Verse 21, okay? These things has thou done. And what the Lord is going to do, all right? He's going to show you his other side, all right? When you read the new so-called New Testament, which should be coined the renewed covenant, all right, you see the Lord's mercy, his grace. The apostles came with this glorious gospel to bring Jacob back to Yahweh Shai. And that was him taking his adulterous wife back, what most men in his flesh would never do. Okay, but you see his grace and mercy, and that's why Christians manipulate people, because they come with this love doctrine, this feel good doctrine. And when you do understand the so-called New Testament, the renewed covenant, all right, that is the Lord showing his mercy. All right, where he once put Israel out of his sight, he's showing his mercy and compassion by bringing them through this glorious gospel. All right, but that's just not his only personality trait. And the earth is about to learn that he's not just a God of mercy, love. All right, he long suffers for a season. All right, his mercy endure forever. But there's another side, and everybody in this fine hour is about to learn. All right, and this is what the Lord say. This is him speaking. All right, through the psalmist. All right, Psalm 15:21. These things thou hast done, and I kept silence. You made void his law. All right. Esau broke the brotherly covenant. 2/3 of our people have committed whoredoms against him. And he said he's kept silent for a few hundred years. Okay. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself. All right. When you read Zechariah 11 chapter, the so-called white man thinks that the Lord pities us not. All right. He holds himself not guilty for all the things he's done to us. Okay, all these unseemly things uses as labs rats with syphilis experiments in Alabama. All right, just destroyed whole neighborhoods where Jake was, and just like Rosewood and up in New York, places where he just flooded us, the whole neighborhood, to build a park and shit, and neighborhoods for his people. All right, and the Lord was silent. All right, out for him watching over his word to perform it, all for prophecy's sake. Okay, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. All right, yeah, the Lord is about to visit the earth. All right, Revelation the 3rd chapter. Okay, he's about to get busy. He's about to show you what the heathen in ancient time past knew about him, why they called him El Shaddai. Now consider this, ye that forgot Yahweh. All right, the heathens are not only ones forgot him. First and foremost, 2/3 of his people have forgot him. Okay. Well, they forgot all those treacherous things he did in ancient Egypt. Our people have gotten away from that. All those miracles he did when he sicked all those serpents on our people in the wilderness and made them kill a great number of them. All right, they forget during the time of Jacob, King David, when he numbered Israel. Okay, and the Lord killed like 70,000 in one day. Okay, and King David was like, "Oh, these sheep have done no wrong. Have mercy." They forgot all these terrible things the Lord have done. He about to put it back in your remembrance, though. Now consider this, ye that forgot Yahweh, lest I tear you in pieces. The Lord is about to tear 2/3 of our people in pieces and everybody that's outside of his temple. All right, he's about to get busy. All right, they about to learn the other side. Christians about to learn that the doctrine that they were given was all lies. They about to see, hey, mercy isn't given to everybody. It's only given to a few elect men and women. Okay, and there be none to deliver. All right, and this is the time we're living in. We're living in a time. All right, he's about to bring his how he was in the ancient time past back into your remembrance in this time. We're living in a time where he's about to tear people's in the people into pieces. He said, I would tear you into pieces. Whoo! Okay. This is Psalms Salakia, Sirach. Check them out. 39 and 28. Okay. This is Psalm Sirach 39 and 28. There be spears that are created for vengeance. You see, the Lord is about to loose the four winds and let those spears created for vengeance wreak havoc on all of humanity. All right. Anybody that doesn't have that mark of exemption that you read about in Ezekiel the 9th chapter, these spears is about to do what they were created for, to wreak havoc on men in the kingdom of men. Okay. They were created for this purpose, for this time. All right. To make people put respect on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's name, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. They bring famines. They make mothers kill their children and eat them. They make mothers kill their children and children kill their mothers and fathers. They make your neighbor kick in your door, kill you for your canned goods and your bottled waters. They toxify the air and bring deadly pestilence that kills millions of people in one day. That's what these spirits of vengeance that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai created. All right, for people to respect and honor his name. Because people have gotten real prideful in this final hour. They let their pride deceive them. He's about to humble them. He's about to humble all of humanity. Okay? Which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. You see, the Lord is going to get appeased when what? When people start respecting him, begging him for mercy. That's when his anger subsides. See, nobody fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai right now, because if they feared Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, they would reverence his priests. They would fear the prophets, his servants that are on the highways bringing it out. When the people walk past the prophets, they talk shit. They mock, they scoff. So that means they don't respect him. You don't respect the king when he sends out his servant with the signet on his finger to bring forth his decree, and then you slap the shit out of him and spit in his face. That means you don't respect the king. That king, when he gives that servant that signet on his finger, that puts him in the power of the king. He's representing the king. And when that servant comes to in the spirit of a herald to bring forth and read the decrees of the king, and you throw tomatoes at him and come slap him and shit, that means you don't respect the king. And what does the king gonna do? He's gonna make you respect his name. He's gonna make you respect his name. And that's what our Lord is about to do. And it's about to get real gruesome around here. In fact, I'm gonna give you an example of the spirits creating vengeance. I'm gonna read what happened in ancient Egypt. This is modern day Egypt. So let's see what happened in ancient Egypt. Okay, what these spirits did in ancient Egypt, and made those Mizraimites, Matazariamites respect his name. All right, these modern day Egyptians are going to respect his name. Just this is what he did them in the ancient world. Okay, they were so fearful. They gave us gold. They gave us their riches. Here, take this. Get the fuck out the land. That was respect. They didn't respect us at first. Now, then they learned to respect us. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon 17. And I'm gonna start at verse 4. All right. I'm reading this in the GNT. Not even the dark corners where they lay could protect them from fear. This is what happened. The Lord put a gross dark. He put a literal darkness over the land of Egypt during this time. All right, on the night of the Passover, they were surrounded by horrible noises. Grim ghosts with gloomy faces appeared before their eyes. So in this final hour, all right, modern day Egypt judgment is going to be far worse than the Hamites in ancient Egypt. Okay, so people are about to see apparitions. It's about to get real nasty out here. It's going to be ghostly figures walking around like that movie Poltergeist. All right, you had to probably be born in the 80s to see that movie. All right, it's about to be real freaky like that. Like Freddy Krueger, you fall asleep and then you see all that shit. All right, Wes Craven and those Hollywood directors get those movies from the scriptures. That shit is real. Okay, that's not no sci-fi horror fiction film. No, this is what happens when the Lord's anger is kindled. This is documented in the Holy Scrolls. This really happened. Okay, these people were seeing ghosts, apparitions. All right, before their eyes. The scriptures say before their eyes. So what you think is gonna happen to the world? Modern day Egypt is 1,000 times worse than ancient Egypt. All right, these people living now are 10 times more wicked than the people back then. So this, the Lord gonna up the ante when he bring forth the judgment here. No fire had power to give them light, and the brilliant stars can do nothing to relieve that deathly darkness. See, and that deathly darkness is gonna fall on America. The lights are gonna go out. All right, these light poles, the traffic lights. It's gonna be gross darkness here in America. Same thing gonna happen here. There was only dreadful fire lit by no human hand that shone on them, and in their terror, they believed the real world was even worse than the things they imagined. So the Lord bugged them out. They started freaking out. Okay. Now, this is what you got to understand. When you read what that account in Egypt, when the Lord killed all the firstborn, gives you a more vivid depiction of what happened to those firstborns that died. They were seeing apparitions and were scared straight. They were getting scared to death. All right, this is what the firstborn saw. Okay, the illusions produced by their magic tricks were put to shame, and all the wisdom they had boasted came to nothing. So all of America's philosophies, all right, their witchcraft, their sorceries that they use to manipulate the people, is not going to work no more. All right, the Lord is going to bring it to naught. People not even going to believe the shit they see on TV anymore. Okay, because the TV is a great warlock special that this devil used. The people are imaginations are bewitched, their thought processes are bewitched by the things that they see these news forecasters bring out. All right, when the presidents and the senators on there, people believe that shit and it'll be nothing but lies. All right, the day gonna come, the Lord gonna judge this place so hard, people not gonna believe nothing they saying on the news, because the hand of the Lord is gonna be on the people so hard. Okay. All right, and that's what happened in ancient Egypt. People weren't believing the Magi. The Magi had all of ancient Egypt deceived. But when the Lord came down on them people that night, people was like, fuck what these motherfuckers doing. All these plagues coming up on us. They don't have an answer to them. All right, all this judgment coming down on us. The inhabitants of Egypt didn't believe Pharaoh and his Egyptian Magi anymore. That's what's going to happen here. Okay. All right. They claimed that they could drive away all the fears of the illness of sick minds. That's what this government is going to do. They're going to tell them we got a way out. All right. It's not going to work. But now they themselves were sick with silly, groundless fears. You see, the people that's trying to deceive, they're going to be deceived. They're going to be wigging out. They're going to be bugging out. The president going to be bugging out. The senators are going to be bugging out themselves. Okay. Even though nothing dangerous had actually happened, they were terrified by hissing snakes and animals advancing on them. See, bro, the Lord is going to bug you out. And the only people, that's why I say wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. If you don't have wisdom and knowledge to keep you grounded, you're going to be, those apparitions are going to have an effect on you. Those ghosts, you're going to think something going on. You're going to be hearing things. And look, nothing's going to be going on. See, and that lets you know, this scripture lets you know what happens to people in crazy houses, in mental asylums. This is the things that happen to them when they put them in straitjackets. They really be hearing shit. They really be seeing shit. The Lord just put these spirits we reading about, he puts it on those people. Them people don't be tripping. They really seeing shit, hearing shit, wigging out. This is what happened to the people in ancient Egypt. And that's what's about to happen here in America. Okay? And so they died, shaken with fear and afraid to even open their eyes. All right? They were trying to keep their eyes closed. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It was a movie that somebody did that. The movie where the boy said, I see dead people. He was trying to keep his eyes closed, and it's not real. It's not real. But when you open your eyes, you're looking at a fucking ghost in your fucking face. When Esau make these movies, these are movies that where they have documented people and analyzed people and looked at them and took down the information, wrote down the data. Okay, and then they take that information to make movies and tell you it's fake. No, this shit is in the scriptures, man. The Lord bugged people out, man. Okay. And so they died, shaken with fear, afraid to open their eyes, yet unable to keep them shut. They trying to keep their eyes shut, and the Lord put the spirit on them, and you open your eyes and you look at it at something like Freddy Krueger with knives in his face burnt, coming at you, man. That's what's about to happen here. That's why we need Yahweh Shem Shai, man. All right, because if you don't have that covering, these spirits created for vengeance is going to have an effect on you, because what he told him in Ezekiel the 9th chapter, come not upon the man that have the mark. Now, if you don't have that mark, you're going to be freaking out just like the ancient Egyptians, okay? And these demons, they've been waiting eons for this to happen. They've been like we like saying, how long, Lord, before you deliver us. Those spirits created for vengeance and saying, how long, Lord, before you let us get on these motherfuckers, man. They ready to do it. Okay. And here we go. In verse 11, wickedness is cowardly in itself, instead self-condemned. Yeah, when you outside of the temple and you live in a life of wickedness, you're a fucking coward. Okay. You're weak. All right. You're a degenerate. All right. A woman that's committing adultery on her husband, she's a weak, she's a piece of shit, and vice versa. A man committing adultery with another man's woman, you're a weak, self-condemned, bitch ass nigga, man. Okay? Wickedness is cowardly in itself and stands self-condemned. Someone with a guilty conscience was always imagine things to be worse than they really are. When you ever been around a wicked nigga, all right, you'll see a dude and he'll see somebody that lost weight. Oh, that nigga got this shit. That nigga got AIDS. Man, that nigga was in the gym working out. The nigga changed his diet. That's how wicked niggas move. That's how they rock out. All right? People that do wicked shit, they always think the worst. They always think the worst of something, man. You know? Oh, he missed work. And the dude got in a car wreck. Oh, he ain't getting the car wreck. He just ain't want to come to work. He at home getting high off dope. That's how wicked people move. That's why the Lord tells us, don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers, man. These are the type of people the Lord is going to judge. Verse 12, fear is nothing but the failure to use help that reason gives. All right. So fear is not created for men. We got a scripture in Timothy that say the Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power. So when you start fearing and trembling and things in this carnal world, the Lord ain't dealing with you. All right? Because it's written, if Yahweh Shem Shai is with us, nothing could be against us. So us brothers, we have no fear. We fear nothing but Yahweh Shem Shai. That's who you fear. But the peoples on this world, like even when Esau come down on us with great wrath, all right, the Lord told us, don't fear the man that could put you to death. That's a good death. That's a sweet death if you get beheaded for the testimony of Yahweh Shem Shai. We're not going to fear when we going and they bring us to Capitol Hill and Congress and condemn us. The Lord said He's going to put His words in us, what to say to them, and then we're going to go to the guillotine talking shit. Fuck you devils. I'll be right back. They don't believe you when you say, oh, we're going to be right back. I'll be right back. That's what you're going to say on the way to the guillotine. We're going to be right back. Because as soon as you give up the ghost and go in the spirit realm, you're coming right back with Yahweh Shai. You got to realize time in the spirit realm, you're not bound by time. So as soon as you go in the spirit realm, it's going to be like you just right back in the earth. All right? We're going to be right back if you die for the testimony of Yahweh Shai. And you one of those elect men. When you lack confidence, all right, and what is our confidence? Get built on your most holy faith. All right. That's where our confidence comes from, this doctrine. Okay. When you lack confidence to rely on reason, you give in to the fears called by ignorance. And what are you ignorant of? These holy scrolls. So if you don't understand these scriptures, you could get manipulated by the wiles, all right, and the wiles of the wicked. All right. All night, those people slept the same restless sleep. See, we're going to have peace in the storm. We're going to understand what's going on when we see planes falling out the air. People in a zombified state eating each other. All right. People starving to death. Just all hell breaking loose. Just like all over society. Just life as we see it right now is nothing. Cars running red lights, having head-on collisions. Just anything can go wrong, will go wrong. All right. If you have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, you're gonna be stabilized. All right. You're gonna be like, all right, the Lord made good on his word. That's the spirit you're gonna be in. Okay. But the peoples of the earth not. All right. And it says, since it came from the powerless Salakia, all night those people slept the same restless sleep. We won't. All right. All right. When trouble and anguish come upon them, we're gonna laugh at their calamities. Okay. Even though the night held no power over them, since it came from the powerless depths of the world of the dead. All right. Death gonna reign supreme in the coming days. All right. They were chased by hideous forms and lay paralyzed as they surrendered themselves to the sudden, unexpected fear that came over them. They died. Those people in ancient Egypt were scared to death. That's how they died. This tells you what happened in ancient Egypt, because when you read the book of Exodus, it just tell you the firstborn died. But this gets thorough. They were seeing operations and they were so scared. Their hair turned white, their hair on their skin stood up, and they were scared to death. That's gonna happen again. It's about to happen in the coming days. But the Lord is going to give him a million ways to die. People are going to be dying all type of ways. But that's going to happen again. Okay, that's what happened in ancient Egypt. And when these things happen, what happened to those inhabitants of Egypt that survived? They feared the Lord. They believed in the Lord. Okay, the Lord got fame. They believed in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. But before that, before he revealed himself to them, nobody gave two shits about him. They disrespected. When you disrespect his people, you're disrespecting him. He that rejected you rejected me, and he that rejected me rejected him that sent me. Okay, so then he gotta show you how he coming. All right, and the Lord gets nasty. He gets very nasty, man. All right, because these things written aforetime were written for our learning, and he shows us how we get down. It's just a few people on the planet Earth that believe. All right, we believe these things we read. We know that they're faithful and true. All right, this is Job 4:13. And the thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep fall upon men, fear came upon me and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Now, see, when the presence of the Lord get on you, even men of the Lord in the ancient world, when an angel came to him, or one of the Lord's righteous entities came to him, that power was so great, even the men of the Lord feared. Daniel just fell down and just passed out. You know how, like, when a woman see a Michael Jackson, a celebrity, and they just get weak and fall out? When we seen those entities, we got weak and fell out. That's how powerful they were. Okay, these are gonna be the same entities bringing judgment on men. But the Lord had that saying, touched by an angel, the men of the Lord, the angel will touch them and say, be cheerful, don't fret. All right. I'm here to bring you good fortune, and they'll touch him, and the brother would get strong. His strength would come back. But when we seen them, when men of the Lord seen them, they were so powerful. Brothers would freak out and get weak and be scared with fear. All right. And it read, and this was the brother Job saying. Then and he said, fear came upon him, and he was an upright man. All right. So how much more when these spirits come, what they're gonna do to the wicked? Okay. Because they were scared righteous men. Fear came upon me and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Then a spirit passed before me, my face, and the hair on my flesh stood up. And this is an upright man. All right. When these spirits come back, we see we are carnal men in this carnal flesh. All right. And we do prophesy in part. So it's certain things that although we read these things and we understand them, the Lord open our understanding and we can see things clearer. It's just like, but once a entity comes in your presence, you don't know what the fuck that is. All right. You just all we know to do, Yahweh Shem Shai, what is this? Please don't kill me. You know, and this was an upright man, and the spirit, the Lord said a spirit on him, probably give him a vision, you know, 9 times out of 10 to reveal something to him, but he was scared. He was scared. Okay. And he say his hair was standing up on his skin, man. Okay, that and what did that do? That made him respect and fear the Lord more. That's the point of this video. These people are going to learn to fear and respect Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. Then a spirit passed before my face, and hair of my flesh stood up. All right, and that's the same thing you see in these horror films. You see, they get these films from the scriptures. It stood still, but I could not discern from the form thereof, because it's a spirit. All right. It's a spirit. We don't understand our carnal eyes don't. If we could see things in the spirit realm, we'll bug out if the Lord don't protect us. All right, thing you're looking like those beasts that are around the Lord's throne. All right, when you read that on the book of Revelation, all right, a human in this spectrum, if they seen that shit, they'll freak out and die. And I'm not calling the heavenly host shit, but if they seen those things, they will freak out because the flesh can't handle that kind of power. Okay. And it reads, it stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof. An image was before my eyes, and there was silence, and I heard a voice saying, shall mortal man be more just than Yahweh? See, it was coming to, you know, Job did get kind of out of pocket when he was trying to establish how righteous he was. The Lord had to put him in his fucking place. All right. Shall a man be more pure than his maker? Okay. Behold, he put trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with filing. But that's the point. The point I wanted to show is these operations, these powers, these right hand and left handed powers is what the Lord is going to use to make humanity respect his name. When Job came face to face with that entity, he was scared. He was scared to death. All right, he was scared to death. Literally, he said his hair on his skin started to stand up. All right, and those Egyptians, they got up close and personal with him, and what happened to them? They all died. The vast majority of them, all of the firstborns that seen these things, they died. And the Lord is about to send those same spirits back to planet Earth. Okay, back to planet Earth in the coming days. All right, and that's why we're out here warning people. Okay, this is another account. This is all right. That spirit that passed by Job. Here go another account of those spirits. Okay, this is 2 Maccabees 3, and when these things happen to men get their houses in order. Heathens alike, heathens and wicked men alike. When the Lord get to throwing that judgment, everybody started respecting the Lord. You see, and He hasn't visited the earth in the eon, man. He hasn't made himself. He hasn't revealed himself to the peoples of the earth in a real long time, man. All right, but He's about to do it. All right, this is 2 Maccabees 3:23. Nevertheless, Heldorius executed that which was decreed. All right, this damn nigga was decreed to come down on our ancestors in ancient times to do what comes spoil the temple. All right, and our people came together. All right, and prayed for Yahweh Shema Shai to defend them. And this is what happened. All right. Now, as he was there present himself with his guard about the treasury, the Lord of spirits, all right, the Lord gave a command on what? Those spirits that we read of, created for vengeance, to appease his wrath. This is what the Lord do, and this is what He's going to do for us, brothers. That's when it means He's going to lift up the standard. When it seemed like there's no hope, and we put in grim situations in Jacob's trouble, this is Him lifting up the standard. All right, our people was just scared when you read this chapter, and they called on Yahweh to defend them. And this is what the Lord is going to do. The Lord of spirits, Yahweh of spirits, and the Prince of all power caused a great apparition, so that all that presumed to come with Him were astonished. And the power of Yahweh they were astonished at the power of Yahweh. You see, the Lord is going to make people astonished at his great power again. He's about to come back to planet Earth and get loose. Well, atheists are going to come believers. All right. Atheists only believe what they see, what they're going to see, and they're going to believe. All right. And fainted and was sore afraid. Okay. For they appeared to them a horse and a terrible rider upon him, and adorned with a very fair covering. And he ran fiercely and smote at Heliodorus with his forefoot. And it seemed that he sat upon the horse in a complete harness of gold. All right. And the horse represents power. All right. So this entity was full of power. Okay. Moreover, 2 other young men appeared before him, 2 other heavenly beings, 2 other heavenly hosts. Okay. Because all we need is 1 angel to protect us. All right. It don't take, the Lord is more angel. The numbers of the angels are innumerable. We don't need an innumerable host of angels to protect us. All we need is 1. 1 angel have enough power to destroy the earth. Okay. So the Lord sent 3. When the Lord sent 3, that means he really fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it only take 1. Okay. The weakest angel, because there's order in the heavens. The weakest angel can protect us, you know. But the Lord say when he come down, he gonna send his number 1 angel, Michael Allah, to come protect us. But the youngest angel, the one that's the lowest angel, could protect us from mortal men. Okay, that's how you know the Lord loves his elect, because he gonna send all angels down in the final hour to come protect us. So the Lord gonna overkill these niggas, man. Okay. Moreover, 2 other young men appeared before him. These are not men, these are angels. All right, notable in strength, excellent in beauty, and comely in apparel, who stood by him on either side. Now, we're going to be just like these heavenly elves. When we get the new bodies, we're going to be like this. What they're doing, we're going to be able to do. All right, these are our brothers. All right, so that power that they're bringing down on the Greek army, all right, we're going to be able to do these things. Okay, but to stay on topic, this is what the Lord is going to use to make people respect him. All right. Excellent in beauty and comely in apparel, who stood by him on either side and scourged him continually and gave him many sore stripes. And that's what these heavenly hosts, when you read Revelation, the 7th chapter, he said he's holding back the 4 winds of destruction. He's holding back the angels, these angels created for vengeance to bring sore strokes on men. All right, he's going to let them go. He's going to let angels like this go, and they're going to descend on men and wreak havoc. And Heliodorus fell suddenly into the ground and was compassed with great darkness. But they that were with him took him up and put him into a litter. Thus, him that lately came with the great train, because Esau is what? He about to come with a great train. He's about to send forth his soldiers to come what? And deem us arch nemesis number 1. All right, he's going to outlaw the Hebrew Israelites. He's going to outlaw the Bibles, and us brothers are going to be deemed enemies of the state, domestic terrorists. All right, and he's going to come with a train, just like he did in the ancient world, came down on our people, and with all his guard, all right, with all his armory, his military might, his AI robots, into the said treasury. They carried out, being unable to help himself with his weapons and manifest. They acknowledge the power of Yahweh. You see, now when they seen all these magnificent things happen and they seen their leader get slaughtered, those that were left, what did they do? They acknowledge the power of Yahweh. See, that's what the Lord's going to do. All right, he's going to let things get busy. He's going to bring forth sore judgments, and everybody's going to acknowledge his power. That's why when you read Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter, all right, it's going to say they're going to know prophets was amongst them. Then that's going to make people start revering his prophets. People are going to be like, damn, they said this was going to happen. Like when Drewski, something gonna happen to Drewski. And you're gonna say the prophet said it. There's various videos, brothers out here saying something gonna happen to Drewski. All right. When something happens to Drewski, a person with a logical thought process is gonna be like, man, them brothers said it was gonna happen. Because the Lord said in what Deuteronomy 17 chapter, you only fear a prophet when you see what he say comes to pass. Okay. For they acknowledge the power of Yahweh. For he by the hand of Yahweh was cast down and lay speechless without all hope of life. And this is what's about to happen to millions of people. This is the judgment written that's going to happen to billions of people. And that's when everybody's going to fear Yahweh Shema Shai. That's when our great king come back to planet Earth. Every knee is going to bow. Every tongue is going to confess that Yahweh Shai is Lord. Because of the blood and the gruesome things he's going to do to his enemies. Okay? This is Jeremiah. You know what? I got a lot more precepts, but I gotta hit the point. All right, this is Jeremiah 15 and 3. You know what? I'm gonna start at 2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whether should we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the heart, the Yahweh, you can't run from this judgment. Where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? All right, if you're not exempt from judgment, is you can't run and you can't hide. Because they got a saying in America, you can run, but you can't hide. You can't run either. You can't run either. Can't outrun a spirit. Spirit could be in one place and then boom, wherever you running, gonna be in front of you waiting on you, you know? Okay? And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whether shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh, such is for death. All right? You can't outrun death. All right? You can't outrun death. When your judgment is written, you what the dudes say, Scarface on that song, I never seen a man cry till I seen a man die. He say, you can run and you can fight, but you still die. You can't beat it. Such is for death to death, and such is for the sword to the sword, and such is for the famine to the famine, and such are the captivity to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahweh, the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. All right. And these are the things the Lord has always did to his enemies. All right. In fact, I'm gonna leave out with this one because he said the dogs to tear. Don't these animals you see walking around, all these strays and all these pit bulls, they're gonna get busy. Okay. Let's see some example how the Lord used the beast to tear. All right. This is 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 30. All right, and it's written. And when Jehu was come to Jezreel, all right, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her face and tied her head and looked out a window. And this is going to be the judging for all you black women, all right? All right, the Lord is going to judge the 2/3 as a whole, but you black women, y'all got a special judgment because y'all been bucking since the beginning, all right? And now y'all just all the way out of order, all right? Jezebel is a representation of the modern day black woman, all right? The spirit of Jezebel, how she made Israel stumble and how she was always at enmity with the Most High and righteous men, okay? She put a hit out on Elijah. That bitch put a hit out on on Yahweh Shema Shai, one of Yahweh Shema Shai's best men. She literally put a hit out on him. Like the mob will put the hit on somebody. And that's what these so-called black women do to the Israelite man now. Okay? So this is the type of things going to happen to these black whores. Okay? And Jehu entered at the gate, and she said, had Zimri peace, who slew his master? And he lifted up his face to the window and said, who is on my side? Who? And there's 2 question marks, all right? And the Lord asked Israel that, all right, who will stand up stand up with me against the evildoers, all right? Okay. And there looked out to him 2 or 3 eunuchs. And he said, throw her down. So they threw her down, and some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses, and he trod her underfoot. All right. And I want you to see that spirit that the Lord put on Jehu. Hey, that's a beautiful spirit. Us brothers going to be in that spirit. All right. Yeah. You know, you got us brothers, for the most part, never whack nothing, never kill nothing. You know, we probably seen people get killed. You might got a few brothers that got busy before they came into faith. All right. But yeah, we're going to get busy. We're going to get busy. And it's going to be fun. Okay. Because the Lord going to put the spirit on him. He put a heavy spirit on Jehu. Jehu just, hey, when the Lord started dealing with Jehu, the first thing the Lord told Jehu to do was go kill people. just go kill people. That was his mission. Go kill these niggas. Okay. And when he was come in, he did eat and drink and said, look, now he killed her. And what he did after he killed the beautiful spirit, after he killed the bitch, he went and ate a meal. The beloved brother went and ate. And when boy, and he saw her brain splatter. He saw her splatter all over the wall, all on the horses. And then when she fell, he rode his horse over her carcass. Okay. And what he did, he came and ate a succulent meal. All right. And when he was come in, he did eat and drink. That's funny. And said, go see now this cursed woman. All right. After he ate and got his belly full, and bury her. You see, but he still keep the commandments because it's a commandment. It's the law that we have to bury the dead. You see, so he still was in order. All right. He just let us sit out there for a little while. Okay. For she is a king's daughter. You see, I love the ancient men. We're going to be just like these ancient men. That's the old path we're going to get to. We're going to be real men, testosterone, just, orderly, clean. Ain't get all this sissified shit. Gonna be a thing of the past, man. He say, look, man, that's a king's daughter. The bitch was wicked. All right, she got her judgment. Man, go get what's left over and go bury the bitch. He's still keeping the commandments, And they went to bury her, but they found no more of her than the skull and the feet and the palms of her hands. That's how the Lord gets nasty. The Lord gets nasty. Wherefore they came again and told him and said, this is the word of Yahweh, which he spake by the servant Elisha the Tishbite, who she put a hit on. All right. All right. She put a hit on him. Let me show you that's how beautiful the Lord is. The deceiver and the deceiver are his. She put a hit on Elijah, and Elijah got kind of scared. He asked the Lord, kill me. This bitch that killed all the prophets, Lord, just take me. All right. He got weak. He had a weak moment. But the Lord put the spirit on him to prophesy her death. You see? The Lord always with his servants, bro. And his servant Elijah the Tishbite saying, in the portion of Jezreel shall dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel. And that's just what happened. That's why all in her hands and her skull was left. All right, those beasts of terror, they ate her. That's going to happen in this final hour. That's going to be the judgment on a lot of people. The Lord going to use these animals to just eat people alive. And the carcass of Jezebel shall be as dung upon the face of the field. And the Lord say, don't bury them. All right. It is what that is. Don't lament. Jeremiah the 16th chapter. Don't lament for them and don't bury them, because to not be buried is a dishonorable thing amongst our people. Okay. And the carcass of Jezebel shall be as dung on the face of the field in the portion of Jezreel, so that they shall not say, this is Jezebel. The Lord didn't even want the helper to get buried. He didn't even want nobody to recognize him, And he got a precept about the spirit of Jezebel in Revelation, the 2nd or 3rd chapter, man. All right. And a great number of people in the spirit of their horse. So that's why the Lord is going to make all of them respect Yahweh by Shema Shah. Okay. So with that, Abba Ratazah, this was edifying to the hearers. I'm going to give infinite honors to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh by Shema Shah. Bashem Harakakadash, double honors to our apostles and our bishops, a great millstone. Salutation to my fellow laborers and my Yamashak, Hamashak Yahweh Shah. Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, Abba.